Yeah, we hang out in Nashville, in case you guys forgot, and there's always these famous music people drop by and see us. That's not happening today. Instead, an extremely famous comedian from Nashville is dropping by, our friend Nate Bargatze. Hey, Nate, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing great, man.
Yeah.
Hey, the Amazon special rocked.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. It's very exciting to be here, Dave. We've, listened to you obviously my whole life. Because my parents would tell me to do stuff that you tell people to do. I wasn't great at it, but they had all the ideas. But I kind of told you at this party, I also moved you when I was 20. Oh, it had been 20 years ago. You were in a house, I think, going to a lake house.
Yeah.
And
we had this little lake house down at Estill Springs.
And so we were moving you, like the company I worked for, we went to your house and moved you. And my one thing, you were very nice, everything was great. I don't remember, you had a TV.
This was back when TVs were big.
Yeah.
Like take two guys to carry one of those.
Yeah, but this TV, I don't remember, it was like, I think what I remember is like it wasn't in like a, if you get a big widescreen, but it was a smaller one. But then you go, hey, that TV's pretty heavy. And, I'm 20 and I'm like, I got it, Dave. Don't worry. Like, this is what I do is I move TVs. And I picked it up, and if you kept concrete in that TV, I would believe that. It was the heaviest TV I've ever felt in my life. And then me and my buddy both had to carry it. And I remember it not being so big because our faces were super close to each other because you're just like walking like one side on the other side. But I always think about that TV. Still to this day.
I'm so glad that Dave Ramsey made an impression.
Still the heaviest TV I've ever felt in my life. And it was.
Did he offer pizza?
It's in your fingers. And
I think people want to know. Pizza, bottle,
I don't
water.
remember if he offered. I think he offered that. My big one was he goes, that TV's heavy. You might need someone to help. And I go, I got it, Dave. Don't worry about me. And then you're like, this is the heaviest TV I've ever felt in my life. So
changing gears, the Amazon special, we watched it the other night. It is excellent. You did an amazing job. The experience had to be so much better than the thing you did during COVID. That was like a root canal, wasn't it? Oh yeah, just outside, everybody had masks on. I couldn't hear them laugh. The first, so when you do shows, if you say you go do an hour, of material or whatever, that can also depend on the crowd if it's going to be an hour. Like, so if the crowd, if you can't really hear them laugh and you're having to talk faster, it's like that hour becomes 40 minutes, 45, like that much. And if the crowd's laughing great, that hour can be an hour and 15 minutes. And when we did the COVID one, I got done taping and it was at like, I want to say 43 minutes or something. And they were like, right when I got off, they were like, yeah, we do not have it. Because you tape 2 shows when you tape a special. And then you edit them to get, like, usually it's all from one show, but then you have maybe a couple of jokes you said better. And so when I got done, they were like, yeah, that was so short. And I was like, well, I can't hear anybody laughing. You can't tell they had masks on, so you can't even see their face if they're enjoying it. Well, the B-roll of the audience was just horrendous.
Oh.
I mean, it was painful.
Yeah.
It was painful.
I
mean, as somebody who's also on stage, obviously not a comedian, but also does a lot of speaking and stuff, it was painful to think about what you're experiencing. But this one and the setup, the production values on this latest one, the way the audience was coming around you and the way you were working them, it was really good.
Well, I wanted to, after like this place where I taped this one, the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, it's one of my favorite venues. Carlin taped a special there, Louis C.K. taped a special there, and it was such a cool, like, you could see the crowd. Carlin's special, you could see the crowd a lot because it was just it was like 70 something when he taped it, and so it's just, that's how it was. But I wanted to show a crowd, and I wanted to show people having fun because after COVID and all that stuff, it's like it was like you just wanted the crowd to see, like, look, people are having fun and people are back out and people are doing that stuff. So it was like we kind of lit up the crowd a little bit so you could see them, and that place is the best.
As a pastor's kid, when you started talking about the words that you were allowed to say and not allowed to say, that was absolutely hilarious. Yeah. I've got to ask you this is a money show. We know that a lot of money issues in marriage.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, your own marriage, your wife's role with money, your role with money, like, what's that like for you?
I have no role in it, so it's her. I don't know. I mean, I used to have jokes, like, I was like, if my wife ever died, like, I would, like, I don't know what bank I would go to. Like, I don't know how to get my money out. I'd have to call her mom and ask her to be like, what is your maiden name? I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm disconnected. When you grow up, we didn't have money. And so even though I know is the pressure on my parents for raising us and saving money and doing all that stuff, I was just fortunately, I guess, kind of oblivious. I never really thought about it, and I kind of went in that with comedy. And so money, I've just never thought about it so much. It's just kind of like you're doing what you're doing. Like in comedy, I would always have little check marks where I could realize. I worked at Applebee's. I met my wife at Applebee's on Thompson Lane, and we worked. Yep, we worked there together. And so
flair.
The flair. Yeah, all the flair. So I remember in comedy when I got to a point where I was making just as much as I'd be making at Applebee's, and someone that didn't go to college or anything, I was like, all right, I'm making as much as I would make as $30,000 a year, whatever it is. And then you slowly just have little check marks where you can just be like, all right, I'm making this. I wouldn't make more than this at whatever job I have. But my wife is the one that does all of it.
How's it feel when someone says Grammy nominated?
It's crazy. It's one that you never, because you're like, why would I get any of this stuff? As you say, better than I deserve. It's you don't think I don't deserve any of this stuff. And so and being just from here in Old Hickory and, who am I? I'm nobody. So it's all wild and it's hard to take in. But it's stuff I did want, you have your goal. You want to.
Yeah, you want to win.
When you think about it, you do want to be as big as you can be. But it's, when it happens, it's pretty surreal.
How many years were you at the trade before things really started to move for you?
I've done it 20 years, and so I was at it. It's all gradually. I always say you either make it at 20 or 40, and no one makes it in the middle. So you either get lucky and get plucked, or you have to go grind it out. And so it was all kind of gradually, always just kind of moving up. And I would say after the Netflix special, The Tennessee Kid, the stand-ups in The Tennessee Kid was when it really we took a pretty big leap to where you go to theaters and people are there to see you. They know, you got to have new material, you got to have all this stuff. They're there to absolutely see you. But I still get amazed by it every day. I was just at the American Century golf tournament, and just the autographs and the fact that people know who you are, and you're taking all these pictures. It's pretty insane.
Were you on the course when Steph hit the hole in one?
I was 2 holes over.
So you heard it.
It was, yeah. And so we didn't know who did it, but the roar was so loud that you're like, all right, well, someone's got, that has to be a hole in one. And then it's so loud and long, then you're like, well, I don't know who it is. And then someone radios over, one of the volunteers, and they're like, it was Steph Curry. And you're like, well, that couldn't have worked out better for NBC and all that. It was a very cool thing to see and to hear it, just the roar.
Yeah, wow. Nate Bargatze, Grammy-nominated comedian, a neighbor of ours here in Nashville, dropping by to hang out. Be sure and check out his new special on Amazon, Hello World. And, of course, he's on tour right now. And how many cities you doing?
Oh, it's all of them, I think. I'm leaving to Australia this Saturday.
Oh, that'll help.
So be in Australia,
yeah.
Never been out there.
Doing it with, doing the show with a little jet lag.
Oh, yeah. I think we have a couple days. You lose 2 days when you go out there.
Yeah, I know.
Never knew that.
Tickets at NateBargatze.com?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
And social at Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by, man.
Absolutely. Thanks
Congratulations
for having me.
on all your success. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Honor, man. Honor to be here. We always loved you, and so it's very cool to be here.
We're honored. Hey, Nate Bargatze, check it out.